Hello beautiful people, Yasmin here. Welcome to Juliet Kitchen. Today you're actually in for a terrific treat. I thought since my knives need sharpening, it's a great idea to share with you how as a home cook, how I keep my knives. One, how I sharpen it, I'll share that with you. What sharpener that I use, which you could use whatever type of brand you like. So I won't be sharing with you the brand necessarily. And then how I store my knives. Okay, so let's get started.
Your subscription is very much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, so I have 3 sets of knives, and honestly, you don't need 3 sets of knives. I just happen to have 3 because these stainless steel knives, which are my favorite, they have the right grip and I guess the heaviness of it. So these are by far my favorite, and I purchased these knives. This set with the black handle, this was actually given to me as a gift. So they're very special to me, and I use between these 2 sets of knives, I use them often. And then here, the final set of knives, these, I fell in love with the colorfulness of them. I have different colors here. These are probably my least favorite, other than the colors being one of my favorite. They're very light, even like the largest, if you feel the difference between them. I like to use a heavier knife. So if you're a person that prefer to use a lighter knife, these might work very well. When you have to chop some stuff, these don't work as well. You want something that's a little bit heavier. At least I find the heavier knives are better when I'm doing a quick chop, or if you're cutting chicken or whatever it is you're doing. The heavier knives I find work best. How do I keep my knives sharp? These sharpening tools came with a knife block. This one here was given to me as a gift. I haven't used it much, but these 2 came as part of the knife block set, and they work for a little while, but they don't give you the amount of sharpening that you need. They're good for a quick light sharpen if your knife isn't very dull. And if your knife is very dull, you recommend it to sharpen your knives professionally, perhaps twice a year, could be more depending on how frequent you use your knives and how dull they get often. So it's kind of subjective in my mind how often you should sharpen your knives. I like to give my knives a little bit of sharpening at home once a month at least, and I use this handy dandy sharpener. Okay, this is electric, and what I love about this equipment, it's very easy to use, and it tells you, which section of the sharpening grid, if you will, to use. So this is by far my favorite as opposed to using these. So I'll show you just a little bit of how I sharpen the knife in a second. The beauty is when I pull out the knife sharpener, I sharpen all of the knives, whether I've used them or not. From a storage standpoint, 2 sets of the knives, the stainless steel and the black handle knives, those came in knife blocks. What I don't like about knife blocks is when you store them, they could get bacteria in the creases, and you really can't, the spot that you put the knives in can easily pick up bacteria. It collects dust, and then if you make the mistake of putting the knives in while they're still damp, guess what? It's even more bacteria. So what I've done is I've gotten rid of all of my storage blocks. I have this here, just kind of a storage block, but it's magnetic. I have 2 sets of knives that I use frequently. I have the 2-sided ones, and then it have this plexiglass here that helps keep it together. But honestly, you really don't need something with the plexiglass. It was the first one that I purchased that was magnetic, so I was a little bit nervous about storing my knives double-sided. So I decided to get the one with the plexiglass. Now the challenge that I have with this one here, it collects dust very often in between the plexiglass. So I do wash it. I also dry it. I use a paper towel with like a bamboo skewer, and I hook it onto the paper towel, and I'm able to dry the bottom of it, and also to make sure there's not water stain. It does get some scratches just from storing the knives often, but by far this is better than having the knife blocks that you stick the knife in. The other things that I don't do with my knife when I take care of them, I never put them in my dishwasher. I always hand wash it, and I don't have on my sink, the dish drainer that I have there, I don't have one of those equipment that you would stick the knife in, sort of like the knife block. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? So I remove that and I lay the knives down flat. You can even spread a towel on your countertop and lay the knives down flat when you wash them. And now I just want to show you how I quickly sharpen them. I certainly won't show you how I sharpen all of them, but I'll show you a few. And this equipment is like a savior to me. So let's do that. Okay, so this particular knife sharpener that I have, it's really easy to use. It comes with an on button right here, and then it tells you right on here which part of the machine to use.
The serrated knives have its own section. 3 to 4 pulls or up to 5 pulls on each side get the job done really well.
Okay, so you're just really gently pulling the knife in on each side. I do 3 to 4 pulls on the right side and 3 to 4 pulls on the left side, and it's ready to go.
For the regular knives, you can use all 3 sections. On my sharpening tool, I start from the right side. Then I move to the serrated section of the sharpening tool. And then if you want to smooth out the blade, the middle section is optional. Sharpening each knife, it's really quick. It just takes a few seconds, I would say under 25 seconds per knife to get sharpened.
Okay, beautiful people, there you have it. That's how I care for my knives, how I sharpen them. And what I really love about this sharpener, it really tells you on the front here, which is a cover for the serrated section, it really tells you where to use. And you really don't need to apply pressure, so I love this. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video of how I care for my knives. Storage, cleaning, as well as sharpening. Until next time, see you with a recipe.